What are some very comforting facts? I once found a ladybug in my room in the middle of winter. I tried to look up if I could feed it somehow, and found countless other people asking the same question. The world is full of people who have compassion enough to feed a lone bug in the winter. Zebras rest with their heads on each other's backs so they can literally watch their zebra buddies back. Plus it looks like a zebra hug. The pollen that bees collect on their legs as they pollinate flowers are called pollinator pants. So next time you see bees hard at work, take a look at their legs, and you might be able to see the pants depending on how much they've pollinated. The ozone layer is slowly repairing itself. The North Pacific humpback whale population is estimated to be 15x greater than it was 60 years ago. The vast majority of people with a first-time seizure will never have another seizure again and will not need lifelong anti-seizure medication. Everybody gets one freebie. What can $1 get you in your country? A thumbs up from a homeless person on the subway. 4 ramen packs. 2 tacos or a can of beer. Even the dollar store ain't $1 no more. Shout out to my boys at Arizona Sweet Tea keeping that shit 99 cents since day one. A weird look at the cash register. A cup of coffee. 2 beers at the supermarket. Bread. Not a thing. A quick 30 seconds of being jostled around on the cheap Elmo ride at the mall. Individually wrapped little candies from a gas station counter. Not a candy bar, it's not enough, but mints or a lollipop maybe. What's a job that's romanticized but in reality sucks? I strongly suspect being a spy doesn't involve half as many high-tech gadgets and spontaneous sexual intercourse as I've been led to believe. From what I've understood, being a cowboy is really awful. Computer game development, especially testing. That is the ass end of an industry that is mostly ass. Working on a film. If you're a crew, it sucks. Long hours for what seem like very slow progress on the picture, lots of standing around waiting, etc. You arrive well before everyone else and leave after everyone else. If this is an indie production you also may have to beg/chase down for your pay at the end of each week. Oh, and when the film wraps, you're now unemployed. Well, this thread is insanely depressing. Are there any good fields to go into? Lol. If Reddit existed in 1922, what sort of questions would be asked on here? Gentlemen coming back from the war, do you also hear bombs again too sometimes? Or is it just me? Unpopular opinion, the new generation is forgetting how to make cheese cause it is in stores. In the future fewer people will know how to make cheese. Is 11 years old too late to start working the coal mines? I fear I'm being too lenient on my 6 boys. How stupid would humans have to be to start a second world war? Asking for a friend, if one wanted to find a speakeasy, where would that be? People who are for the legalization of alcohol, why? My son talked about his feelings, how do I let him know he's an antsy boy? Married couples who don't have more than 8 children. Why? What unimpressive things are people idiotically proud of? How much money their parents make. Not eating any vegetables. Known a few people state it as if it's some kind of achievement giving themselves constipation. Drinking a lot. I once had a coworker brag about how dark his pee is. Driving better when drunk. I've heard that ridiculous statement more times than I should. Missing breaks at work for a company that wouldn't care if they died the next day. I'm an alpha sure thing, big guy. You're so alpha you had to get a shirt that said it too? Not being able to cook. I keep hearing people bragging about how the only thing they can do is boil water. Saying shit like in a land of sheep I am the wolf. Sure thing, dude. Nothing surprises me more than when people are proud of their ignorance. What's a weird smell you're willing to admit you like? I don't know if this counts. Where I used to live is very common to hug people all the time, and if I have been in someone's home before, the place would have a particular smell, and almost every time I would hug them, they would smell like their home. It always felt good to make that association, it was comforting somehow. Whiteboard markers. And single-use lenses wipes. Honestly anything chemical smelling. That smell when you walk into a hotel with a pool. Back in the old days, the smell of papers that the teacher handed out that were fresh off those old hand-cranked mimeograph machines. The solvent. PVC pool toys when you're unfolding them before you blow them up. I love the smell of basement, which I don't know if is weird, but I'm the only one I know who likes it. Women, what do you find the most confusing about men? How they're able to have so much fun with their friends all the time. They make digging a hole in the beach with their friends look like the most fun thing in the world. I really admire that. When a guy will slip something very heartbreaking into a convo, Like something an extremely abusive parent did or whatever, and he's talking about it very casually and you're like, holy fuck my dude, are you alright? But you can't actually say that or overreact too much because he'll never tell you anything again. If you do so, you have to sit there and be like, hi yes that sucks dude, but inside are like, sir may I hug you please? What happens to your dicks when you run? Do you feel them flop around? And what do you do with it when you ride a bike? When guys are seriously injured but act like it's just a scratch, that they can somehow walk it off. All the guys I know are like this. I'm a dude, but why do we all pretty much collectively enjoy digging random holes? Especially at the beach. Edit, just got back from the beach and yes, I did dig a hole there. What's something you can bring up right now to unlock some childhood nostalgia for the rest of us? That feeling when you are going as high as you can go on the swings. Power? Freedom? Hard to describe. Waking up super early on Saturday morning before the rest of the family to watch cartoons. Getting up in the morning on a day it snowed to watch the list of closed schools across the bottom of the news/weather channel hoping your school was closed. Watching the Price LS right when you were sick at home. When you'd watch a VHS and it would say and now your feature presentation. Chinese finger traps. An eraser that looks and smells like a very fake strawberry. The Land Before Time. Those candy necklaces. Eating one of those plastic wrapped ice pop things after a long day of playing outside in your backyard with your friends. How attractive would you say you are? According to Grandma I'm a 10. In reality, probably like 5 at best. I have a face for radio and a voice for the shower. My mom says any woman would be lucky to have me. So maybe a 3. I'm a goofy looking bastard. No idea. I'm always curious what someone's first impression of me is. Average, but for almost 40 I get a lot of people thinking I'm 30. I'll take it. I hate to brag but I'm a solid 2. In Miami I'm a 4. In Tallahassee I'm a 7.5. A pretty girl called me a dime piece on Monday, solo ride that high the rest of my life. The world would be 100 times better without this. What is it? Kidney stones. Dementia. Right now I'm watching this fucking disease rip my 80-year-old father apart. I'm certain there are worse things, but in my world. Dementia. Lower back pain. Those large flying cockroaches. Depression. Pollution. Litter. Lying politicians. Corruption. Rapists. Dicks, tapeworms etc. Basically any type of parasite. Those pieces of shit really fuck you up. Both mentally and physically. Why are you still alive? At this point it feels like I've survived too much to be the reason I get taken out. My dog wouldn't know why I never came home and that makes me nauseous. I kinda just want to see how it plays out honestly. Fear of death. And the unwavering feeling that there's something I have to do before I die. I don't know what it is but I think I'll know once I've done it. It is a habit. Honestly. I don't want to kill myself, but I don't want to keep doing this either. So, here we are. Spite, first off. Second, after spitefully living, I've found my calling and found purpose in life. So I'm gonna hang around a little bit longer. What is a really weird fact that makes people say why do you know that? If provided with a mirror, dolphins will admire their own genitals. Octopuses are usually very antisocial but when they're under the influence of ecstasy they are more willing to spend time around each other or even hug other octopuses. When you are starving, and have little body fat left, your body can grow almost fur-like hair to insulate itself in absence of fat. Guinea pigs average pooping around 100 times a day. In Phoenix, Arizona, you are legally allowed to bury a dead body on your property without asking for permission/getting a permit/etc. The city asks that you contact them beforehand so they can send someone out to stake for gas/electric lines, but it's not required. Cheetahs are so genetically similar that supposedly you can draw blood from one and inject it straight into another one without any health issues in the receiving animal. I.e. no blood type or clotting factor variations. What is proven to be a hoax but people still believe it to be true? That cracking your knuckles gives you arthritis. If you pull out a gray hair 3 more grow in its place. My sister still believes this one. We only use 10% of our brain. Touching a baby bird will make its parents reject it. That you swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep. Shaving making hair grow in thicker. It's illegal to keep the light on in the car while driving. Wolf hierarchy with alpha on top and omega at the bottom. That my cat thinks he's starving. What is the most physically painful experience you've had? I was bitten by a rattlesnake. On the ankle. My whole leg swelled up immensely. Would not recommend. Flaming marshmallow at a campfire to the eye. Molten marshmallow to the eye is very unpleasant. I perforated my eardrum in a water skiing accident. Then I got the hiccups on the ride to the ER. Kidney stone. 6 millimeters. Peed it out. When my spinal cord collapsed down onto the nerves going to my legs, I legitimately wanted to die. I have cluster headaches. When it gets very bad, I legit think about jumping out of the window. It's like someone stabbing your head with a glowing hot knife. And the best part is that you cannot really do something about it. What's something you look forward to every single day? I live at a friend's family house. They offered me shelter after I became homeless, and every night I go to my car to read. I find that reading in my car every night before going to sleep gives this family a chance to get a break from seeing me, and I get a chance to be calm and away from everyone. They are amazing people and it's been so fun. I'm so thankful that they let me stay in their living room, but they tend to use it at night to watch a movie or a family time, so I take a chance to let them be and I get a chance to learn something and relax in my car. The drive home after finishing work. I live over an hour away from the office and I like the long ride home because it gives me time to decompress. I'm also driving westbound, so I've been able to witness many beautiful sunsets. School. I always hated high school, and now that I'm going to a school that caters to my interest, auto tech, I can be happy going and seeing other people who have the same passion. What is slowly dying off or disappearing? Giraffes. They've become an endangered species. Telephone booths are completely gone by now. I haven't seen any in years. Amphibians. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Privacy. Coral reefs. Free parking. Even the smaller suburbs in their town centers started charging for parking. Family reunions. I was born in '83 and I can remember going to one every year for both sides of my pop's family and just one side of my mom's. It's definitely a dying tradition since now you can keep up with everyone online. What social customs do we need to retire? Touching pregnant women's stomachs without consent. Making couples feel obligated to have giant, fancy, weddings. When people say, "You're too young to be hurting." Fuck you, my back hurts. Rest being seen as lazy. If I take a day off of work simply to sleep in and rest at home instead of having to have some sort of big plans or destination, it shouldn't be seen as anything less. Having to purchase gifts for extended family that you cannot afford because it is Christmas or another holiday. Worshipping celebrities. I don't get it, and it seems to just create tons of problems. That not having Facebook, Instagram, or other social media profiles is different or isolationist in some way. The customer is always right being used as an excuse to be a fucking asshole. Expensive funerals. The funeral industry is insane. What's an extremely useful website most people probably don't know about? WetTransfer.com. Create a downloadable link to any file up to 2 GB. Super handy. Whereisthis.com for when you have a picture of a place and want to find out where it is, and reverse image search doesn't help. Supercook.com helps you figure out dinner based on what you already have in the house. Just the recipe will remove the life story and ads and give you just the list of ingredients and method. Gutenberg.org. Older books, sheet music, etc. Stilltasty.com tells you how long foods, both opened and unopened, last in the refrigerator. CamelCamelCamel.com. Paste the link to a Amazon product and get the price history. Great to see if something is really on sale or if you are getting gouged. This-to-that.com. What kind of glue you use to stick whatever to whatever. Remove.bg. Honestly a great tool for cropping out backgrounds for editing.